We're going to go ahead and get it started real quick. Welcome to another Cardinal House AMA. We got Starlink on doing a dive into their project, everything they got. But we do start things off just a little bit differently, as I'm sure maybe you guys have seen or maybe you've heard. We start off in the AMA polls channel. So if you're in the audience, go ahead, check it out. You two, Remy and Deck, you don't necessarily have to. I'll be going through the questions with you, but just kind of getting to know you guys a little bit better. And then as both individuals and as a team kind of leading a project. Because in my opinion, a team is far more indicative of a successful project than the project idea. And I mean, you can see that with any successful business person. If you went to any top 100 or top 20 company, you would trust them to run a project almost regardless of what it was because of their experience, right? Because of their way of operating. So let's get through it and just get to know you guys a little bit better, break the ice a little bit. So if you had to say, would you prefer TikToks or YouTube Shorts?
YouTube Shorts.
TikTok.
YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts. I have to disagree with you on this one, Deck. I don't know. There's something addictive about YouTube Shorts. I was actually like kind of scrolling through it last night, and I was like, but they're kind of random too. But like I did for like 5 seconds. I'm like, this is kind of interesting, you know. But
Is that your first time?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Really?
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not on social media quite a bit.
Mhm.
So it was. I was like, oh, no wonder everyone's like addicted to TikTok. It makes sense now, you know.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
yeah.
TikTok is like the trailblazer for that, and I mean, I think YouTube Shorts is a lot better. Austin, you might say the same thing. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, because other people.
Yeah, YouTube Shorts is definitely is like a different beast. You know, like TikTok is the first, but it's like make or break with YouTube Shorts because a lot of people just break down long form content into shorts. It's like, what are you doing?
Quality of YouTube Shorts is actually like higher. At least it pertains more to the things I'm interested in than TikTok. At least right now.
Yeah,
The algorithms
YouTube Short is better.
Sorry, go on, Deck.
I say YouTube Short is a better quality, but on TikTok, harder girls. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. I spent like a good 15 minutes, just watching girls dancing on TikTok. A YouTube short girl who dancing, I look for it. That's what TikTok for, right? Look at the name, it's TikTok,
Yeah.
That's
really funny. All right, well, let's get into the second one. Bitcoin or Ethereum for this run?
You asked me that 2 weeks ago. I had a for sure answer. And for this run, I think that's so tough, man. I'm gonna say Ethereum.
Okay, you think it's gonna flip right now, huh?
So before the POS move, right? I was saying Ethereum for sure, but since the POS move and the macro kind of outlook of everything, it hasn't been as quiet as bullish. That's I think everyone expected to. It might have been the most anticlimactic thing I've seen in crypto in like 3 to 4 years, to be honest. Like it was very anticlimactic. I was like, this is kind of lame. But I do think it's a decentralized kind of computer, and the fact that you can run smart contracts and you can build any ecosystem on it, I think makes it far more useful than Bitcoin, and it's even becoming more deflationary too. So I think it's a small edge, but Ethereum, and I think institutional money is going to start picking up on that as well. As we've seen things like Bitcoin down, like El Salvador's wrecked right now on Bitcoin. They're wrecked. And then we see all these institutional players wrecked as well. They have to add collateral over time.
MicroStrategies.
MicroStrategy and Celsius as well, companies, multi-billion-dollar companies. And so I think they're going to be like, okay, maybe we should switch up our exposure because they want exposure to crypto, but these assets are so volatile. That's tough, but I think Ethereum wins long-term just because of its utility.
Yeah, that's a really good breakdown of it. How about for you, Dick?
I would disagree with him. I would say it's Bitcoin. Just have a different perspective on the way how it works, because the way how people look at Bitcoin right now is kind of slow. Like Ethereum is better, like all those kind of things. But if you look a little bit more on the technical side, like actually a lot of their bitcoins on is being staked on Lightning Network. And actually, if you all
Mm-hmm.
don't know, Lightning Network is basically a network where you can adapt and
Mm-hmm.
kind of scale the whole like Bitcoin thing is. And these days they are actually building on like a EVM compatible on the Lightning Network too, where you can
Mm-hmm.
actually can kind of scale Bitcoin all into the EVM compatible layer 1 or layer 2 or all of those big hype or whatever is going on right now. I would say, and the thing about Bitcoin is the first one is the thing that set crypto apart or whatever it is. Ethereum always gonna have its own side of the whole thing. So like the way how I look at it is like let's say Bitcoin is like Facebook, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
Ethereum is like a total different beast, like a Twitter or like any other different kind of platform that they eventually gonna have their own kind of audience and their own user. But I would say on this run it's still gonna be Bitcoin anytime, any day.
Gotcha.
I could see his point because people see Bitcoin as absolute decentralized money, right?
Mm-hmm.
No one knows the founder. No one. It's just and there's like miners hiding out there in like Mongolia. Like it's just so decentralized.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see the point of where people are looking to be like, where do I put my money? You're seeing inflation skyrocket. We're seeing bank runs in China. We're seeing banks becoming insolvent everywhere. We're seeing
Mm-hmm.
margin calls on pension funds in the United Kingdom. So I
Yeah.
could totally see where they're like, oh my gosh, I don't know where to put my money. I want to have control of my own money so I don't have to like show up to a bank to rob the bank for my own money. So you might as well put it in something that I have complete control over. And
Yeah.
that answer would be Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really close race. I think they will stay highly correlated for probably a very, very long time. I don't think they're going to decouple anytime soon. The only thing we need to decouple from is the S&P 500 and NASDAQ and the stock market. Let me tell you. So yeah, Deck makes a good point. So it's
Yeah.
it's a flip of the coin.
Do you think we're tied to the S&P more so than just the market in general?
I think right now, we are all tied into the market in general. I think
Yes.
we're all
Okay.
going
Okay.
down together.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I
Fair enough.
think, yes.
And yeah, I think I see both your guys' points on the whole Bitcoin ETH. I think on a macro scale, I'm a lot more bullish on Ethereum and the possibilities, only because of its institutional adoption and how fundamental it is. The fact that I don't love it as much now since the move to proof of stake because of the how easily it can be hit by 51% attack. I don't know if people realize that 3 of the nodes have like what 46% um of the total ETH in circulation. Not to mention that 4
Mhm.
exchanges actually own over 50% of all ETH, and those are all regulated by the US. So if the US came in and was like, "Hey, this terrorist group is dealing with this coin," I mean, i.e., like we've seen before, you can't accept any transactions on Ethereum if from any wallet address that has transacted this token or coin. Uh, you could see a lot of stuff changing up. There's a lot more regulation that can go into it. And like theoretically, they could just all of a sudden mint, because they have 51%, they could mint 20,000 ETH and put it somewhere. So you could see things like, I doubt that would happen because it'd be a lot more difficult to hide that. Um, but you could always do things under the guise of terrorist groups and other things now. So it opens stuff up to a lot more risk, in my opinion.
Yes.
Um,
Agreed.
but yeah, so next one we got, looking long term now, Bitcoin or Ethereum for the long hodl?
Bitcoin.
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 Okay. Austin, how about you?
I put Ethereum. I think we had an AMA 2-3 weeks ago with Wolfer Finance or not Wolfer Finance Present.
Yeah.
And I was talking about Bitcoin, and it's like such a hard decision, right? I'm so flippy floppy with this just because I see Bitcoin as just the first mover. People call it the digital gold type of stuff, where it's going to be around here for the long haul, right? We all know Bitcoin's going to be here because it pretty much makes the rest of the crypto market. But Ethereum, there's so much stuff being built on top of it that I think if you're looking for a potential upside investment wise, because I'm an investor, I like the tech. Let's but let's be real, I'm here to make money, and I think there's more ups. I think there's more upside potential in buying Ethereum and holding it and then selling it for a profit than Bitcoin.
Gotcha. Next one, we got Reddit or Medium.
For what? Just overall, or like
Yep.
when it comes to crypto and DeFi?
Oh, most likely crypto and DeFi.
I'm just gonna go with Medium based off of the fact that I'm a huge Arthur Hayes fan.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I say Medium too.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't do enough research on Medium. I think I need to get into that a little bit more. A lot more of it comes from Reddit, Twitter, and some other sources. But yeah, I definitely need to get more in tune with the Medium side of things.
Do you read Arthur Hayes?
No, I do not.
Okay, I will send you guys the links to the stuff he writes, and you will be like,
Yeah, send it to me. That sounds awesome.
This is the guy. No, and you're gonna have to like sit down and like have to read it a few times because he's big time, and it's good stuff. You'll dig it.
All right, yeah. Send it over. That's awesome. I appreciate it, man. All right, swing trading or buying and hodling?
Oh, this is the easy one. If you look at hedge funds performances and you look at institutional firms performances, institutional firms have way more assets under management and do extremely well long term rather than hedge funds. Oh, so it's buying and hodling.
Gotcha.
That's just that proof is in the pudding. But
gotcha.
I do recently believe that hedging is key. I've met some really big time options traders and option hedge funds managers that I know, and I think the key is hedging, but using your hedging profits. If you guys don't know what hedging is, it means like you hold, let's say you hold 10 Ethereum and you're long on that 10 Ethereum, but then you short, Ethereum with 1 Ethereum. Like you're betting both ways. Either way, you're going to make money. And then when you make money, when you bet on one way, you just add it to your long and hodling bag, pretty much.
Yeah.
So eventually, it all comes back to hodling. Eventually.
Gotcha.
So buying and hodling.
Gotcha. Definitely. I like the idea. It's a risk management strategy, right? How about for you, Dick?
I would say buying and holding for me because I mean I'm not like a trader by any means.
There aren't a lot of successful ones out there. It is tough to be a good trader. Very, very difficult.
Yeah. So I rather say on the technical side, just building and developing it possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we have a trader in here in our. Well, he's very involved, and he is by far one of the craziest traders I've seen. He's currently doing like a run up from, I think it was like $20 to $1,000, which past week he's like a 50% already. And I'm like, dude, what in the world? Like, this is just mad. It's just crazy.
That's a lot of leverage right there.
Oh yeah.
Get there.
He's using leverage, but he's very, very smart about the way he does it. And he definitely takes his profits and moves it into a long-term portfolio right after. So he's got a very interesting way of doing it. He's very, very strict on himself about, his rules that he follows and not, letting emotions get in the way at all. But definitely important. Coinbase or Binance?
Oh. Well, we're talking about Binance US.
Just in general. Just Binance in general.
Binance, yeah. Don't get me started on Coinbase.
I'm a CZ fanboy. It's all matter.
You're a CZ fanboy.
I mean, we have to. We're built on the Binance Smart Chain. I can't sit here.
Funny.
I can't sit here and be like, no, not Binance. When our project's literally built on the Binance Smart Chain. It's not.
Not on Coinbase Network.
No, Coinbase is no, not a fan.
That's funny. I haven't heard that before. The CZ fanboy part. Would you guys prefer to have fast transactions but high gas fees, or slow transactions and cheap gas fees?
Oh, high gas fees, fast transactions. You know how anxiety inducing it is to send like a couple grand from one chain to the next or something like that, and it's like 45 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes.
5 minutes
this now
later.
should be Yeah, 5 minutes later, and then you're like, "Wow, I just sent this to some random guy, and he's gonna be able to feed his family now for 15 years." Like,
We we might
it's yeah. Go ahead.
we might be able to offer up a solution to that soon. I'll keep you posted. We got something in the works.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
need it. Taking about 15 years off my life. It's like, all right, do I spend $150 of gas on Ethereum, or do I just like,
Oh no.
yeah, it's a painful,
No,
painful
no, no, no.
situation.
No, we're talking not spending nearly that much. Not nearly like but for much faster transactions. We got something coming. That's all I'm gonna hint at it. But next up we got, would you rather have a time machine or be able to travel anywhere instantly?
Well, if I travel anywhere instantly, can I like go like I can go anywhere instantly? So like if I go to like Budapest, I can come back right away.
Yeah.
That's I would rather have a time machine. If I had a time machine, I would go 10 years and buy like 1,000 Bitcoin, and then there you go. And then there
Okay.
you go. Yeah.
No, why not a million at that point? Just do a million. Like,
Yeah, just
what do you
buy the
got to
whole thing
lose?
at that point. Just go on the Silk Road and just be like, what was his name? Ross and the Friendly Chemist, and just take all their Bitcoin
Oh,
and just hodl it. Use it for good reasons.
How about you, Dick?
I'd say the time travel. It just
We just can't agree on anything.
I know. I think Binance and the hodling and Medium are the only ones you guys have agreed on.
I know. What are we, Deck? We're supposed to be a team, bro.
It's the good diversity, though, right?
That's what I'm talking about, like diversity. Like we cannot just yin yang. It's not like a corporation, things going on here. We all have different, quality and stuff. So we just kind of fill in the blank for the whole team, which is just nice.
Love it. Awesome. And then the last thing I got for you guys, what are you most excited and interested about in crypto? And how it applies to your project? You can add that in.
I think the thing I'm most excited about, and coming from someone who was in traditional markets before and a centralized marketplace where there was middlemen's got what we call fat margins. I am excited about the decentralization that is coming to the unbanked and the underbanked. I think there are about 2 billion people who are not tied into any banks or are underbanked all around the world. And there are exorbitant fees when a family member tries to send money from one bank to another, trying to feed that said family or relative. So I think the solution that blockchain and crypto overall solves is a massive one that blockchain and crypto can only solve, and that's true decentralization and giving the people choice of where their money goes, how they manage it, the fees, and everything that comes with it. I think centralization is dangerous, and I think we've seen people who get in power and too much control can really take advantage of the little people of the planet, and we've seen that over the past few years. And so that's what I'm most excited about. To be honest, that was a very blunt answer, but
Yeah,
decentralization.
I like it. How about for you, Deck?
Basically, what I would say is a technology thing, and then the way how crypto and blockchain can be life changing for a lot of people. And since we are kind of stepping into like a very different, like a lot of people say it's a new world order. So like a new kind of era where like technology is gonna take over, and then like the whole traditional finance will be like kind of revamped this own way, because everybody can kind of see the way how all the currencies going down these days, and the only thing that can stand is the US dollar. And so with crypto, basically we are looking at like basically a new world order. That's what I got the most excited about, where money at the end of the day can only buy so much, right? Because everything these days is about money. Everybody in crypto is about money, but end of the day, you see in the long term how life changing crypto can be, in a sense, and it can kind of level out the difference between the rich and like the poor, to a point where the life can be a little bit more fulfilling and more satisfied rather than just working a day by day to earn like a livable wages. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, and that's what get me the most excited about crypto and blockchain in general.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's very, very interesting take for both you guys. Do you either one of you guys think that, because I know you for me said decentralization was one of your like key factors that you were looking forward to in crypto. Do you think that it's also preventing people from entering, or at least the complete unregulated space is?
Yeah, I think the unregulated factor of where we're at in decentralized finance is we're in the wild, wild west. I'm not gonna say anything less. I've been here for 2 years and I've seen some of the wildest stuff. There are billions of dollars exploited, like every few months to a year. Like it's insane. I just think that the market we're in is so young. DeFi really hasn't even came to its own yet. I mean, it's 2 years old. It's a baby. I think it just needs to have more safety, security, and transparency, and it's got to scale that to make it a more mature market so it can turn into an exponential market, so it can start rivaling such things as traditional and centralized marketplaces, which will take some time, right? But I think that there are always going to be good actors and bad actors for whatever business you do. You know, being in business and finance forever, even in, you know, centralized real estate, Wall Street, there's bad actors, right? Trying to defraud out people and do the wrong thing, right? DeFi is no different. It's just a mixture of everyone from everywhere. So that's why it's so important to up the security and safety. That's why, like, a little bit about me. About a year and a half ago, I started a smart contract audit because we realized that these smart contracts were getting exploited so frequently, and that people needed to create a well-written suite of unit and regression tests. And if we really up the security on smart contracts and making sure they, you know, they weren't really exploitable from external functions, that would save billions of dollars. And I think that's one way we need to go about it.
Gotcha. Is that I completely agree. Sorry, Deck, go ahead. I saw you started talking.
No, I was just listening.
Oh, gotcha. My bad. Yeah, and that's something that it's very easy, I think, for people to agree on. But how do we get there? How do we get into developing something that can actually prevent any of these funds from being stolen? And I think that is the big question, right? And it might just be the UI. I mean, the UI could be one of the simplest things that could change, and the education around it, honestly, as well. But do you have any ideas as to how we could kind of push towards what you're speaking on?
Education is the single most important thing when it comes to DeFi. I think if everyone had the knowledge and whereabout and had accessible information regarding how to maneuver and guide through decentralized finance, kind of like a tour guide, you know, it would be so much easier. I think that's what we really lack is education, and I think we lack education because we have, you know, I said I've been in DeFi for a long time. I've been here for 2 years. Like I'm still learning every day, right? So I think we just need more time and have more, you know, concrete statistics and data and analytics and something tangible we can be like, all right, this is what you do X, Y, and Z. Because really, there's no blueprint into succeeding DeFi. To be honest with it, a lot of it's luck. I mean, a lot of it is like you bought the right shitcoin, it went up 100x, and now you're a millionaire. And then you have no financial literacy, and you're like, what do I do with this? So you start buying all these other shitcoins, and then you're down 900k in a week. I've seen that happen probably 1,000 times. So I think the key is getting people educated financially, right? And I think that kind of gets failed on our school system a little bit. I think people need to get educated on how to handle the finances, taxes, and how to have appropriate risk management. And then when you understand that foundation, that becomes a great model. Then you can start teaching them about DeFi and the little tricks and here and there, you know, and some of the nuances that come with it.
Yeah. I don't think people realize either the side of things, like a big education piece is learning how to take profits, right? Like kind of what we touched upon earlier. You don't take all your profits when you 1000x and put it all into the same high risk investments, right? You got to take a good percentage of that and put it into something that's a lot lower risk. Even if it's in crypto, that would be like looking at the top 10, right? Blue chips.
Mhm.
At those and putting some in there. And then you could also pull some out and put it into something even more risk free, but not losing that amount of wealth that you just came across is the key to the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, some of the guys that have been around for the longest, some long term, crypto guys who've
Mhm.
been around since I mean, the Silk Road and for a while. Like they always talk about how crypto is just surviving. If you just survive a bear market, you just survive it, and you have some profit left over, that you'll 10 100x no matter what in the bull market. So they always talk about how surviving is the absolute key in everything,
Mhm.
and how risk management is also the key. So
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Austin, I don't know if you have anything to touch up on the education piece or anything else on there, if you want to, and then we'll get into what you guys are doing. I really appreciate your guys' responses, by the way. I will say that.
Yeah, I love, dude. This is the types of conversations I really like. Like especially from somebody, and Chris. I mean, everybody on the stage could probably appreciate this, right? Doing the same mundane AMAs. I think we try to do things a little different here, and make it more human and not what's your project? Okay, what's your APY? You know what I mean?
yeah,
I think the biggest educating, like if we want to talk education before we get into Starlink, that I think a lot of people miss is they treat DeFi like it's a normal investment when I see people all the time. Oh my gosh, from a content creator's perspective, they're scrounging together $100-200, which is good. I'm glad people are able to save money, but then they start out in DeFi and they start out in like not even just a blue chip crypto, but like, taking a gamble on XYZ token. It's like, man, you got to start out somewhere, right? Like I think DeFi is the place to create wealth in like what you said, as far as like 10 5 10 xing when you get back into a bull market and all that stuff for sure. But I don't think you should start out in DeFi. If you're just getting your feet, your financial feet, your legs, whatever you want to call it, you just established, some decent income or whatever. I think that's where people make a really big mistake is they don't start investing in the boring, unsexy stuff. They start investing in the shiny object syndrome stuff, and then that's what gets them in this constant, perpetual loop of making money and losing money.
okay. I have a point to what you just said. You said you're a content creator, right? You're a
Absolutely.
content. Okay, so I don't want you to take this. This is not anything personal, but I think one of the big reasons people do that, they scrounge up the 100 200 bucks, right? And they ape into these shit coins is due to influencers and people who put out that content like that.
Oh, I totally agree.
He's
dude.
not
I totally
that
agree.
kind of content creator.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't know, so I
No,
want to
I'm
like
not
tread
a.
carefully. I didn't
No,
want to
no,
offend
no.
anyone. But I think crypto Twitter, dude, is the absolute worst place you can be if you're in crypto.
Yeah.
It is so toxic, and it's absolutely terrible when you get into crypto. The people who are around you, your network is your net worth. Who you meet
Agreed.
is everything, right? And who you become in the crypto space. And I think Twitter is an example. YouTube is bad. I could think of like one YouTuber right off the top of my mind who I'm like, you should never watch. And I think we all know who that
Absolutely,
is.
Austin Clark. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
But
trash. No.
yeah. But it's just so toxic. Like you have people posting fake P&Ls on Twitter saying, "Oh, I
Yeah.
just long ETH
Paper
with
trading.
$15 million," and it's like, bro, you did not just long ETH when it's down 10% one day with $15 million and 100x leverage, dude. Like, no, you have 100 Twitter followers. Like, you did not just do that. Like, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
toxic place. But I think but like we said, it's such an immature market, right? And
Yeah.
as we grow, and these people, sorry to say, but like 99% of these people are going to get liquidated and they're going to be like, oh, crypto's a scam. So that's what happens,
Mhm.
right? We see NFTs, pictures of monkeys selling for 500 Ethereum to Eminem, and Snoop Dogg, and we're like, that's the definition sign of a top. And then everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna do this as well, and then they buy and everything goes down, and they're like, crypto's a scam. It's like, no, that's called like what should actually happen. Like that picture's not worth $4 million, right? Just pricing and reality. So I think just educating people and setting their goals realistically and knowing what's tangible and not, and that not everyone on Twitter has 1,000 Bitcoin and they're longing it with 100x, So
Yep.
just my thoughts on it.
Yeah, can I add just one little detail for about the education thing?
Go ahead, Deck. Disagree with me. What's your joke?
No, I'm agreeing with, I'm
Go
agreeing
ahead,
with
Deck.
all I'm agreeing with all the part, but it just kind of sad the way how I see everything these days is everybody, especially the younger generation, the way how they seeing things, they have a much shorter attention span, right? Because earlier you was asking about YouTube Short or TikTok. So like this day everybody just gluing their attention to like a 15-second 30-second clip, so that it's just harder for people to actually pay attention to, like, let's say a 15 minutes word amount reading on Medium.
Oh yeah.
To actually educate themselves. So let's say Austin, you are a content creator, right? So definitely you gonna switch up between like a 10-minute and a 15-minute content, like a video, to like kind of educate someone about like whatever topic you want, and then also you can have a 30-second or like a 1-minute education, little YouTube short. And I'm pretty sure these days a lot of people are just gonna go to the 1-minute one, which is kind of well, I don't know how to say it, but it's just kind of sad the way how it is. Because like whatever you're learning right now, like let's say a lot of people who's been in crypto since 2017, someone who made it on the 2021 bull run, and some people actually doesn't make it. So then they just what made the difference is how you retain the info. Like of 3-4 years from now, another bull run gonna happen, is who is gonna be there to actually take profit, who's gonna be there who's actually listen to whatever education they already achieve, like, which is just the way he is kind of sad today, seeing things the way how it is, especially for younger generation who cannot focus more than like 20 seconds.
It's
definitely
tough. It really is. And I think part of it that I don't think people realize as well, crypto right now is so focused on money, right? And like you said, Austin, like you're here to make money, right? But there hasn't been this great of an opportunity for the individual ever before, really. Like, because as an individual, you couldn't go and invest, $1 into real estate. You couldn't go and buy you really couldn't go buy a startup internet company back when Web 1 was launched, right? Because it wasn't legal. But the possibilities are just endless here in the crypto space and DeFi space especially. But it also opens up all that risk like you guys are talking about. And people don't have interest in investing. They just have interest in, or learning. They just have interest in making money. And so I think that's part of the problem, is that people aren't dedicated enough to do it, to at least do like even just the bare minimum of researching like the project founder, right? Or researching what the project is actually doing, or what revenue sources they have, or what, like there's a variety of things, or thinking through, why is this going to succeed? Why isn't this, right? I mean, there are short-term plays for sure, but at the same time, you can also have some kind of guesses to whether a project can succeed in the short term, just based on the amount of hype it has behind it, right? The community. And I don't think that people think these things through, because they kind of have that dollar sign in their eye, and they're like, okay, like you said, Deck, the attention span is not there, not to actually give some real thought into their actions. So it's a lot more rewarding, but it's also thousands of times riskier, because I mean, before there was almost no risk, you just couldn't even do it. There's no reward either, but yeah, so it's super interesting. But with that, let's get into Starlink, because we spent a lot of time getting to know you guys, and I do really appreciate the answers though, because it is awesome, and we've had a couple good chats the past couple AMAs with teams, and it's really awesome to hear your guys' opinions on things and see where you're coming from, because I think that's super indicative of what a project could do, like I was saying. But let's get into Starlink and what your guys' experiences are, and your roles on the team.
Yeah, I'll begin. So my name is Robert Morgan. I go as RM. So if you hear people say RM, then then
Yes, my name is Dag.
yeah. So I was waiting for you, Deck. You go ahead.
So I'm the smart contract developer, tokenomics designer, and anything that the app and blockchain related is. I'm the technical guy of the Stalling Finance project.
Gotcha. Sweet. And then what role are you playing, Robert? Maybe he stepped away for just a second.
Sorry,
Yeah.
my internet just rugged me. Sorry, guys.
You're all good.
I just
You're all
got
good.
rugged. So, yes, my name is Robert Morgan, RM. I was a software engineer for previous years before I got into DeFi, and then I was worked in traditional markets and centralized finance, and that was sure an experience. And about 2 years ago, I got into DeFi as it caught my eye, and building dApps was something that really interested me. Smart contract functionality. And then about a year and a half ago, I saw way too much money getting exploited, and I realized that a lot of smart contract audit companies were not running what we call manual tests or manual audits. They were running things through bots, and that wasn't substantial at all as money was getting exploited left and right. There's been, I think, like $3 billion exploited since then. So there you go. And so I had a great Rolodex of developers and individuals I knew. We came together and we started a small boutique style audit company, and we started knocking out audits. And then over that time, when you start doing something like that, you build a Rolodex because you meet so many different project owners, developers, people who want to integrate into Web3 and blockchain usage, right? So over time, I just met some great people, and then we came together and started an LLC out of Miami, Florida, called Sky Pegasus, and we're a one-stop DeFi shop, and we offer all services you could imagine. And I specialize in KYC, anti-money laundering processes, licensings for projects and companies in the UAE, Europe, and in South America. And it's been great. It's been great. So here we are. And I never thought I'd be here, helping out with a project like this, but it's been a great time. And I think we have something really fantastic here and a great community and close supporters that have been fantastic throughout the whole journey.
Yeah, love to hear it. Love to hear it. I like the background and kind of a little explanation on how you got in here and identifying that there was a problem and finding a need to fix it, way to fix it. So how did that all turn into Starlink and what your guys' main goal is? If you had to sum everything up in like one vision statement to start, what would that be? What do you want people to know you?
I think I want people to know me for making other people wealthy, kind of like a Robin Hood, kind of, but not to that extent, right? Building something that is then bigger than itself, then bigger than life, right? That everyone can partake in and get something from it, right? Because you can't. I'm a big fan of Tony Robbins. If you guys are familiar with him, you can't be depressed when you're helping other people out, right? And that's what I've realized, right? And I think I got so much joy out of helping people with their codes and auditing in it and helping them out with their dApps that I was like, I was waiting kind of for a model to kind of follow, something safe and secure. And when Horde came out, they were, the first trailblazer when it came to a liquidity management system. We were like, this is substantial. This is something we can build on. And so I know you asked me to summarize, but I can keep going. But,
no, you're good. You're good. Keep going. Okay.
But what we realized is with Horde, we're like, this is a great system. Probably the best system I've seen in DeFi. And I've seen a lot of crazy stuff in DeFi. Let me tell you, it's crypto years is like doggy years. You like age super fast. And I saw, how well they were doing, and now they just hit 20 million total value locked, 2 million in their LMS system. I'm like, okay, these guys are killing it, right? So for the past 6, 7, 8 months, we've been building this out. It's our original code, right? It's not forked. We built our own LMS system, Deck did, and we wanted to back end test everything as much as possible because that's key, right? You have to have all the tech ducks in a row before you can even start exposing, tweeting, anything of that nature. So we had to build the foundation first. And when we went to build it, I was like, so for 7, 8 months ago, Horde did their pre-sale, right? And it's $1,000 for a plot, right? 6-7 months ago, that's not a lot because people were up, more than they are now, right?
Yeah.
Everyone was kind of doing a little bit better. We're kind of still in the euphoric phase. ETH was like 3.5K, 4K, so $1,000 wasn't that much to a lot of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Until now, right? We were like, we want to make our satellites, which is our version of the plot, as cheap as possible to lower the barrier of entry. We wanted people to be accessible to everyone, so we made it $250. But right now for the pre-sale, it's $125, right? 50% off. Mm-hmm. And then we were like, all right, what type of quirks and things can we add to the treasury to make it even, more substantial, more long-term? And thankfully, over the past few years, I've garnered some great connections in the restaurant business. I've been in it a few times. And we have an East Coast operator who's been in the game 20, 25 years, has a huge team. And we're going to use, buying restaurants as an off-chain investment, right? The $1 trillion industry, massive liquidity, substantial APY when you're looking for a long-term franchise, a restaurant who has been in the game 20, 25 years, absentee owner, something that has great clientele and a great location. There's a lot of things that go into that. We'll dive deep. We'll dive deeper into that later. But we wanted to add little things to it that we've garnered over the past years that to really make this a special product that everyone can use and it's accessible for everyone. That was our main vision and mission when it came to this. Deck, is there anything you want to add? Is there anything I missed?
I mean, for Stallings, basically, it's just the whole idea basically was inspired by Horde, right? And since RM and the team came to me, we all kind of talk it out and see that we can actually like feel a niche of like a different kind of a Horde inspired protocol. I was down for it right away. And then since the market is like kind of on DeFi kind of saturated in a little bit, a lot of people just like doing this, doing that, and then after a while the whole idea is just kind of like a copy and paste after a while. So being inspired by Horde doesn't mean we are actually like just copy and paste like 100% from Horde, right? And we have a little different the way how our connection, our networking is. And so I believe that the way how Starling Finance will adapt to the whole bear market things can be succeed is we will have like our own name on the DeFi scene.
Gotcha. And so, like, now that you've addressed, like, there's competition. What did you guys create that separates you from the LMS system the Horde has, or future LMS systems in general?
Well, see, you just said something very interesting there, Chris. You said competition, right? And I'm big on this, and this is something I've noticed, and this is something a reason of why projects either die or they expand, right? 99% of projects die because they just focus on the one thing you just said, which is competition, right? This space is too small to compete. Imagine if we all competed against each other. There'd be no one left. No one else would be left, right?
The 10,000 DeFi investors.
Yeah, it wouldn't. That's not long-term substantial. We don't want to compete with anyone. We want to collaborate and integrate with everyone we possibly can. That's how we come together as a small market community as we are, and we scale together. We create something great together, right? So we're not looking to compete with anyone. We're looking to build a product, help everyone we can, help other projects, help other communities, help people who are getting into DeFi, educate them, things of this nature. Competition is a dead end in DeFi, and I've seen it over and over, right? So that's my view on it. It's all collaboration and integration, and we realize how great the LMS system is, and we look at projects that have failed with the LMS system and say we maybe don't want to do that, and then we look at projects that have succeeded with LMS, or for example, have done a great job, right? Fantastic. And we say, okay, we want to do this, this, and this. Maybe we change this a little bit, right? So it's all collaboration and integration, and then hopefully we can all work together as one big conjunction and make everyone happy. That's the ideal, right? That's my point. That's kind of my perspective on things.
Yeah, it's a very, very interesting take. Sorry, Austin, I think I started saying something. Or am I blind?
Oh no, you're good, man. I was gonna let you talk, and then I was gonna ask him some questions. So I think one thing that I have seen, because I try not to like go super in depth when like I talk to projects with AMAs, because I like to use that as kind of like a learning opportunity for myself, right? And so when I was looking a little bit into Starlink, and I listened to, I think, a little bit of an AMA, I think you had, it was with James on the Twitter Spaces. I
Yeah.
was in and out of that one.
Hmm.
What really, in the nitty gritty specifics, right? What differentiates Starlink and makes you all unique from Horde?
I will talk about the fundamentals, and then Deck will talk on the technical side. But fundamentally, right away from Horde, is our plot is 250 USD, and we will be using more. I would say I think we'll be focused a little bit more on off-chain investments with more liquidity and some more substantial APY than on-chain, because we've seen a lot of treasuries as a service fail. I think pretty much 99.9% of treasuries as a service model has failed because they all bet on crypto stuff. It's way too volatile, right? You have to put a substantial amount of funds into something stable where there's like trillions of dollars. Real estate, restaurants, things of that nature are off chain, right? Which we've already started in the pipeline because it takes a long time. Those things take like a little bit longer to compound because it's like more substantial over time. It's not like 100% APY in one day. It's a percent, 2% starts compounding, start seeing gains. From the fundamental side, that's how we're different. Doug, you want to talk about how we're a little different technically?
Yeah, so the way how I see Horde LMS is they are kind of a reactive liquidity management. So I also make my own price stabilizer that's also kind of reactive in a sense where a lot of the liquidity management, the way how they do it is like the buyback bot. So like anytime the price go into like a certain a certain certain price, the bot will buy back and then push the price back right away. But the way for our price stabilizer work is basically also very reactive. So like we have like an upper range and a lower range, right? And the price stabilizer basically act like a dealer, arranging and dealing money through the LMS, and just doesn't go through doesn't go through the liquidity pool. And that's a way where we can ensure that price can be the most efficient, and it can allow us to stay on the price range that we decided to in a very in such a long time in a very sustainable way also. So that's what it says different than Horde in a sense.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So with the foundational side that you were talking about, RM, what is, because we've seen this a lot in DeFi, and me specifically, I've seen projects try to go into real estate, projects try to go into different businesses. We're seeing NFT projects kind of touching the mining farm, and I guess this wouldn't really work with real world assets as node validators. They're still kind of on chain, but we've seen projects touch in that space. So I'm looking here on the white paper, and it says each satellite, and for anybody listening, a satellite means a plot, kind of like in the Horde world. It's a 250% return in 200 days. How are you going to still kind of provide those returns with off chain type of assets? Like, what specifically in the off-chain world are you going to be investing in to
Yeah,
provide those returns?
of course, right. You said mining, and I got really scared because actually, yeah, mining is no BN right now. Electricity, especially, is so expensive due to
Yeah,
the
right.
Russia-Ukraine situation, right? So that's a no go. So right, we're not solely focused on off-chain investments, though, right? We have on-chain investments as well, but we want to diversify as much as possible, right? I think touching on the off-chain subject is important because it's different, right? It's different, it's unique, and it's something substantial long term. So we will be diversing appropriately to birth both on and off chain, right? We have trading bots already being tested, already working on, already compounding, right? Because trading bots, I've been building trading bots for about 2.5 years, and you guys probably, I don't know if you guys were probably around because there was like 10 people around at that time in DeFi on Telegram. So back in the day, big trading bots were sniping bots, right? There was only a few of them, and they'd snipe listings right away, make millions of dollars, right? And then they kind of trickled out, and then DCA bots came around, general trend style bots came around, scout bots came around. But we wanted to create a trading bot that compounds over time, kind of like an arbitration bot, right? because it deals with a lot of consolidating and forex, gold, and crypto. So we want to focus both on and off-chain investments, right? And attack from all angles and really leverage to maximum efficiency our connections. And we realize that diversifying appropriately and healthy is a winning strategy. Off-chain completely won't win. On-chain completely won't win, right? Because off-chains, it's too slow. It'd take too long. People in DeFi would be like, "What's going on?" Right? I'd be like, "What's going on?" It'd be like 2 years before you see any return, right? Nothing that crazy, but it would feel like that. On-chain is too volatile. We've seen treasuries as a service fail immediately, going strictly crypto. So it's a healthy balance from what we've seen that really wins the day. Deck, is there anything I missed you want to touch on?
I think I'm good. I think I'm good. Just listening to RM these days, just he's our Twitter and space and AMA guy. So usually I just follow along and listen to the flow and fill in the blank with him. But he's such a good speaker, so that usually I don't like talk much, but I fill in any like technical or like any fill in the blank for him pretty much.
Thank you. Because I can start ranting sometimes, I miss stuff. So like Dexter, hold me
No, you're
accountable.
good, man. So
Yeah.
with the specifics, because I try to make everybody I do AMAs with, right. I make the joke. I want to make them sweat. So let's get into the specifics. So you you talked a little bit about trading bots. That's one. What other specifics, both on chain and off chain, right at launch, not like in the future, but like right at launch, that's going to be producing revenue to the protocol? Could we just kind of give like a bullet point breakdown?
So right off the bat, we'll have NFT boosters. I think Deck can talk about this because he's building this out. But right off the bat, we're gonna have the trading bots gonna be compounding, and you have to realize with these gains, they don't come for a little while because it's not like you can't get like 200% APY in the first day when you're trading bot.
Right.
It's gonna take over time, right, before people start seeing gains. And so we have play to earn game, NFT boosters. We have the trading bots, and then off chain, we have the restaurants. But that, of course, like you said, that won't be day one, because when it comes to restaurants, I want to inform people the financing side of it. When you go through seller financing, SPA financing, that takes like 30 to 60 days. So we're trying to get that in the pipeline now to get that turnover as soon as possible, as we're looking at specifically sushi and Thai restaurants on the East Coast. But right off the bat, we're aiming for play to earn, NFTs, and trading bots. And then you'll see those gains compound over time. So something long-term substantial, because we see Celsius, we've seen other kind of hedge funds and things that promise this crazy BitConnect from way back in the day, kind of be like, oh, here's 10% APY a day. It's not substantial. We're realistic. We say 1.25%. And we back end tested that with everything and came to the conclusion that's substantial. We would have never been here and drawn that conclusion if we never tested it. Everything has to be ran through rigorous manual unit tests, things of that nature. Data analysts, and it's a whole thing. And Dad, you want to touch anything technically there?
Yes, for NFT and like a play to earn game, I already have quite a bit of like developments going on. So usually I would say it take maybe like a few more weeks to like push out the release and the update. But then like usually after launch, after all the pre-sale, everything is done, and adding to LP, and make sure all the launch and everything was like a smooth and a successful launch. We start pushing out like constant update that that our investor can follow, that trading bot, all those also NFT play to earn games. And in terms of trading bot, we're not like just one simple trading bot where you buying and selling. We have I have exposure to MEV bot and sandwich bot, which is like a call up like an arbitrage kind of bot too. So all of those things coming in together, that I'm pretty sure that can not like provide a substantial amount of revenue right away, but we will constantly pushing it out in terms of like updates, and that like putting all of those on like a transparent kind of manner, so that at least our investor know that where our treasury and where our the investment and all the money is going to, heading direction right after launch.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I mean, I use trading bots, and I think some people even here, right? I talk about my Astrobit bots, and we've been hurting this past month, but you know, that's the way it goes in September. I don't know.
That's an understatement.
But it's all good. We're gonna make them back in October, November. I have full faith. But one thing I just want to capitalize on that question to both of you is trading bots. Yeah, they're very long term. Restaurant. Oh man, that's long term. You know, I mean, the restaurant industry is probably, if you're looking for an ROI, that's probably one of the hardest ones to get into. And then yeah, like you said, financing and stuff. So I guess my main concern with Starlink would be, when you all launch right off the bat, is the revenue just going to be coming from, you know, the taxes and stuff? Because, you know, right off the bat, you're going to be earning, your users are going to be earning that 1.25% a day. So where is that money coming from is kind of like what I'm getting at, before those other long-term ones kind of kick in for supplemental income.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, right after launch, usually you're gonna have some certain type of like buying volume coming in, right? And so
Right.
our price range usually will be we be setting for from like 23 to like a $26 kind of range, and our price stabilizer will only get activated by the time that, you know, the price of token get to that range, so that I already calculated like quite a bit of, like, you know, some math going on, that we will make sure, like, on the marketing side, that, you know, we build enough hype and build enough buying power for launch. Since buying volume on launch will be the most important, consider all other aspect being the same, that, you know, at this kind of range we're looking at about like maybe like $4,000 a day, paying our investor with like, you know, with our with the way how our pre-sales been going on. That's our estimation, about $4,000 a day, if everybody is, you know, decide to just, you know, not compounding and selling everything at once. We expect the launch to be about like anywhere from like 300,000 to 400,000 buying volume coming in for on launch day. That will efficiently, you know, get us somewhere about you know, half of it going to our LMS right away, and which is about like $200,000 plus whatever amount we have left in our treasury, and that will ensure us about like $300,000 of LMS to support the price, and, you know, give or take about $4,000 per day. That would be about 60 days, roughly about 60 to 70 days of runway without any compounding, and, you know, not any, you know, without any revenue bringing in for the treasury. So if you're asking about any like estimation for the date and the runway, that's about like 50 to 60 days for us to actually, you know, putting all the treasury money into use, and, you know, finding a different way of, like, you know, bootstrapping more extra liquidity into the protocol in order to ensure that we can get to the 200 days deadline. Because the most crucial time will be the 200 day, because after that time, the pre-sale plot, the pre-sale satellite will get decay and get, you know, all the selling pressure will be gone. So that basically all that we are looking at will be the 200-day threshold, and we will try our best in order to, like, you know, get past that.
Yeah, that's
Gotcha.
interesting, because I definitely see like the fact that you guys are pushing more towards this long term play. It just, I guess that would surprise me that you gave a 200-day kind of, not runway, but a 200-day time limit to try and perform all these things. Because I see like long term the potential here. Is there a reason you guys went for that time limit, or even better yet, when is launch, and how long after that will the restaurants be started?
So launch is on October 1st.
Okay.
We have 3 to 4 days left of the pre-sale. We've sold about 2,100 satellites, 2,100 plots. I can drop the link here, and you guys can check out. We sold about 22,000 tokens or so. So
Okay.
we've been doing pretty well, and the restaurants we're trying to get those started as soon as possible, right? But there's so many, it's in real life business, right? It's not like I could send crypto from one wallet to the next and they're like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, it's a done deal, right? You have to look at the books and the tax returns,
Yeah.
and I realize some people think that restaurants are the worst class asset out there, but not really. They, the ones you look, some of them can be, startups in particular, the ones that are new, 3 to 4 years. No, you don't want to touch those ones. But ones who have been around 15 to 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
have a great location, loyal clientele, right? They're absentee ran. They have their own management system. They have their own chefs, especially in the sushi and Thai business,
Mm-hmm.
can create a ridiculous amount of cash flow. Right, being in this business for some time now and having close relationships with brokers on the East Coast, they're substantial APY, and we're seeing
Mm-hmm.
25% to 30% APY for this protocol just from those restaurants alone. And we want to get started on that as soon as possible because that's something that lasts over a long time. And the key thing is when we're looking at these restaurants is we want to see how they performed in 2020 during COVID. If they killed it during 2020 and COVID, that's a really, really positive sign. And a lot of them did, which is to my surprising because a lot of people take sushi and Thai as takeout, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's we have a good chunk of handful of restaurants in the pipeline that we are feeding through and want to see which ones work the best for us and our
Yeah.
operators.
The fact that you guys aren't going about this alone, I think, is the most uh the most it provides the most opportunity for success, I think, because you're dealing with people that have a lot of experience with, like you said. So that is a lot better. I'm not familiar. I didn't think the ROIs would be negative, like would be poor, considering you have some big franchises that rake in cash, yearly, like billions of dollars in volume. So
It
yeah,
takes it takes an army, Chris. Right? It takes an
yes,
army. A network is net worth, right? You can
yeah,
never do any of this stuff alone, and it takes tens, 20s, 30s of
hmm
amounts of people to help build such a project. And really, we don't consider ourselves a DeFi project.
hmm
We're a tech startup. This is a tech startup, and that's the route we're going. And it takes all the effort we can take. And I'm so grateful for the connections and friends I've garnered over the past few years, and our team has, where we can
hmm
call someone up and they can help us out, and it's advantageous for everyone involved. So
yeah.
that's really key in any type of business, really.
So no, 100%. With the numbers that you guys have raised so far, what are you guys looking like as far as a soft cap being hit or kind of that goal that you guys had set for yourselves?
So, we've raised them out to launch and run the LMS system effectively, and most importantly, we've helped garner an organic community, right? I think that's something that's overlooked. I think a
Yes.
community is it's everything in crypto,
hmm
right? It's literally everything. When we looked at the biggest crypto projects out there, the blue chips, they have there's such a stable, you can look at it even for meme tokens, right? You see like these meme tokens
Cardano.
with no, yeah, you you see these meme tokens, right, that have no utility, but they have such
hmm
amazing communities and holders. They go to like 20, 30, 40 mil, 50 million market cap, and you're like, how did that happen? Right? It's all because it's
Cardano's,
organic.
yeah,
Exactly.
like
Cardano's vaporware. Okay, I'm gonna say
that.
it right here. It's fake. It's fake. But they have such a diehard community that they're gonna last forever, right? Just like
hmm
XRP. So really, we want to focus on more than anything. Instead of raising money, the money's nice. Being us to able to run the liquidity management system and line up restaurants and
hmm
things of that nature, that's amazing, right? But the community is what really the foundation, the strong infrastructure comes from. And we were
Yeah.
able to garner that organic community. We really didn't really go the influencer route because that's a kind of slippery slope, and that's kind of in a saturated market where those
hmm
people are kind of hard to deal with. So we really want to get people's attention who are really interested in the project and that they believe in us and they believe in the team, and it creates for a wholesome dynamic, and then it just scales from there and create
Yeah.
something special for everyone. So that's what we've been really focused on, because as the community grows, then everything else grows.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I love the thought behind it. Is so you said you have raised the funds needed to launch and basically get everything up and running. So what are those funds looking like? Because I heard that you said 2,200 tokens you sold. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we did an initial private sale for our partner who was an NFT holder, and that was 2 weeks ago. Was felt like 3 years ago. That was 10,000 tokens at 62. 10,000 a token was $6.25. Satellite was $62.50, and we sold 10,000, so that was 62.5 grand. And then from there, the sale went from $62.50 to $125, so it's still 50% off. And you have to realize, and we sold 10,000 tokens, actually 11,000 tokens now at 125.
125.
Yeah. So you have to realize, this is something I want to clear up, is people are like, oh, you're gonna get dumped on. No, but when you buy our tokens, you buy VEGSLS, which is only convertible into satellites. So no one's buying the native token. So when you participate in our pre-sale, you're buying VEGSLS tokens, which is only convertible into satellites, our version of the plot, right? So there's going to be no selling pressure off the bat. It's only going to be buy volume, and then people will be compounding and creating their satellites to earn that passive ROI. So I want to make that very clear. We have raised we're I think like 66% sold out now.
What's the total?
66, total. We've been knocking down the barriers, and because for when it comes to liquidity management systems and kind of what we're going for, the more funds, the easier it is for us to buy a restaurant right off the bat, right? Which we can already looking for. We can start scaling, looking for financing here and there, right? We can start feeding our bot, right? Our trading bot, where we can start compounding 1% every day, boom, boom, or 0.1% every day, whatever it is, right? And then we can start scaling the play to earn game, the NFTs, and then we can have the runaway for the LMS system, run it effectively to keep it within that range of $24 to $26. So it creates the whole ecosystem run smoothly and efficiently.
Yeah. So are you guys sitting at about 200K at the moment?
Around
200 to 300?
Yeah, around there. I have to look at the numbers
Yeah.
again, but yeah, something around there. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. And you guys were shooting for about 400. So you guys are at 66%. You guys have raised a decent enough an amount, I guess, for launch. So that's very exciting. Very, very exciting. And I do want to be respectful of your time. I know we went a little bit over today, got carried away with some of the conversations and everything, but it's been really, really great talking to you guys, especially all those conversations at the beginning. I think, like I said, the team is much more indicative of a successful project than the actual idea. You can come up with an idea, 1,000 times, but you need the right team to actually make it happen. And so I really appreciate you guys for hopping on and chatting for such a long time. And we will definitely be in touch in the future. And if you wouldn't mind dropping a link to your Discord, that would be sweet in the AMA questions chat.
Yes, I am actually doing that as you speak. Great minds think alike, my man. Where is it at?
While you're doing that, I had one final question, one from the community that I wanted to capitalize on here. It was by Peter, I think it was. Yeah, Peter. Peter said, can you discuss or ask about access to contract security and the risk? And the reason why he's asking is we literally just had a rug happen, I think it was last week for Tunis. And it was from, rogue developer. And, we don't really have AMAs a lot with the developer themselves on the stage. So this is a pretty cool opportunity. I thought it would be. So Deck, how would we be able to hold you accountable if you were to run away with the money? Just as blatant as we can be here. Is it like, are you guys like KYC'd with somebody? Or
yeah. So
yeah, they are.
This is how this works. So the multi-sig is KYC'd by CoinScope. So where it's a KYC multi-sig, and so for any transactions to be moved out of there, it has to be signed off by all the KYC members, and that's where the pre-sale money goes to. That's what it feeds into. So Deck can't run off with anything. No offense, Deck. I like you, but you're not allowed to run off with anything.
Too bad.
So that's the ultimate safety We've also had how many audits by now? Deck, we've had what, 4 audits?
We have like 4 audits, and then we have the multi-sig, which is like a 2 out of 3 multi-sig too, and also kind of KYC, and also have like internal docs between each other, so you can check them out on the D app with all the audit and all the KYC info. Everything's on there on our D app. So check us out on Discord. Come say hi. Everything should be there. We answer any question for you guys.
Yeah, and if you want to drop a link to that as well, that'd be sweet. I think that it's tough because you kind of have to ask those questions, right? It's like you've stated, the world of crypto is so unsecure. You need to be able to do your own research and figure out these things. So I appreciate you guys answering that and understanding. It is a very important thing to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. I get it more than anyone. Trust me. I was on the phone with developers all day, and I'm like, "Are you sure this is what you want in your code?" They're like, "Yeah, it's fine. I outsourced this developer from, who knows where, and he put it there, and it looks cool."
It only costed $500.
I'm pretty sure that shouldn't be there. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that shouldn't be there. So trust me, guys. I appreciate the due diligence. I respect it, and I've been in your shoes as well. So, yeah, absolutely hear you there.
Yeah. So, but again, really appreciate you guys for coming on. It's been a great time chatting, and I look forward to seeing how launch goes and everything to come afterwards. I'm excited about the new kind of bonding with the real world that you guys are connecting with. I think it's coming to DeFi slowly. We've started to see it recently, and you guys are taking it and running with it as well in a total different way than I've seen anyone doing. We've seen film industry, we've seen partnerships with music, we've seen a load of different things, but I haven't seen anything related to the restaurant business. So definitely going to be exciting to kind of see where you guys go. But yeah, I really appreciate you.
Of course, thank you so much for having us on. This is a great space, and also how you guys opened it up was, I think this is like the 9th or 10th AMA we've done, Deck, and the way you guys opened it up was excellent. I actually really liked it. It was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Yeah, we have fun with it here. That's for sure. But yeah, so thank you guys so much, and I'm sure we'll have you on again, especially after launch and once everything is moving forward. So have a wonderful rest of your day, guys. We'll catch you soon.
Of course, you guys as well, and we'll look forward to chatting with you guys post launch. So
awesome. Yeah, good luck. I know it's busy. go get back to it.
Hey, busy life is an exquisite one. Let me tell you, my friend.
That is for sure. Very true. But have a wonderful day, guys, and thank you guys for tuning in. Remember, if you guys are in the Cardinal crew, we have a special project. We got the Sleeping Giant being released. We'll be letting you all know what that is tomorrow. But it is definitely something I would stay tuned for. If you're in the crew, dude, it's gonna be wild. I know we haven't. Just for your guys' info, we've not told anyone about this, so it is I mean, there might be a couple people that know because of a selective person on our team that can't keep his mouth shut. But but at the same time, it's fine. But if you are in the crew, it's going to be exclusive to crew members, and so really trying to get some more value provided to the people that have been here supporting us the whole time. But I digress. I will catch you guys. Oh, sorry, Austin. Did you want to add something to that? Because I know.
Oh, one final thing is, do not forget, if you are interested in the trading bots, especially ones from Astrobit like I've been using, I'm interviewing Crypto Warrior, which is the founder of Elevate Trading. So I last week interviewed Breadmaker from Bread Bites, which is trading bots hosted there. This week we're interviewing Elevate Trading, which is another brand of trading bots that is hosted on Astrobit. So if you are interested in that, curious about how those work, about trading bots in general, if it's for you or not, tonight 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you click that little events section, it'll convert to your local time. Make sure you go and hit that interested button and come show out for that one, because we had a really good turnout last week. I think a lot of people are really interested in trading bots, but not a lot of people know the intricacies of investing in those. So really excited for that conversation.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for coming on again. Really appreciate you taking your time and chatting with us for a little extra longer. And Austin, you as well, for hanging out for a little bit. But we will catch you guys soon. Have a wonderful rest of your day, guys.
You do. You too as well. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, of course.